of the conclusion of the Battle of Gettysburg, which was fought in southern Pennsylvania, which is the turning point of the American Civil War. So around this time, 159 years ago, a large artillery barrage began instigated by the Confederacy, the Army of Northern Virginia, against the Union side. The Union responded, and around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon was Pickett's charge, if you know that, if you've heard about that before historically. So we're kind of celebrating both things today, and they're dressed as normal federal soldiers would have dressed in 1863. And I'm going to let my friend Joe take the rest of the program. Yep.
Alrighty, good afternoon everybody. So today, Mark and I will be demonstrating for you the operation of the Model 1861 rifle musket. We'll be going through the load in 9 times loading and firing procedure prescribed by Silas Casey's 1862 infantry tactics. We'll be showing you what it looks like step by step to go through the 9 individual steps to load and fire the rifle musket. And then we'll be showing you what it looks like to load and fire this in real time. So the soldiers of the Civil War would be trained by the numbers, step by step, when learning how to fire one of these weapons. There were 9 distinct steps that went into loading and firing one of these weapons. Every step was essential to the operation of this rifle musket. You could not omit any step from this. Every step was important and necessary for the firing of this weapon. So what we'll do is you could go to the shoulder. So what we'll do is we'll take you through this step by step, and I'll be narrating it and also demonstrating it, as well as Mark will be as well. So to initiate all of this, to load by the numbers, to load step by step, the command that would be given would be load in 9 times, load. And at that point, the musket would be brought in between your feet like this, with the barrel facing out this way, and your right hand would go back to your cartridge box. This is your cartridge box back here. This contains the ammunition. It could hold approximately 40 rounds of 58 caliber ammunition. And then the next command is handle cartridge. That's when the soldier would open up the cartridge box and withdraw a paper cartridge. This tube contains the gunpowder and the bullet. For our purposes today, there's just gunpowder in here. There are no bullets in here. And then the next command is tear cartridge. The soldier will put the cartridge in his teeth, tear it open like that. And what that does is that, in essence, exposes the gunpowder so that it's ignited more easily down here. And then the next command is charge cartridge. The soldier will then pour the gunpowder down into the weapon like so. And then if there was a bullet in here, the bullet would be seated at the muzzle of the weapon. The end of the weapon here, this is called the muzzle. This is a muzzle loading weapon. So just imagine there's a bullet there. We're seating the bullets with our thumbs. And then now the bullet's not going to go down on its own with gravity, so you have to provide it with some assistance. So we have something called a ramrod to help with that. So the next command is draw a rammer. Take the ramrod out, turn it around. You can see here on the ramrod, there is a little depression in here. That's for the top of the bullet right there. It seats on the top of that. So the next command is ram cartridge. And then you make sure that the cartridge is rammed at the base of the weapon here. And now the next command is return rammer. So you have to make sure to put this ramrod back. It's very important to put this back, because then if you were to accidentally fire this at the enemy, then you can't reload your weapon. It's kind of important when you're a soldier to be able to reload your weapon. Now notice, we return to the ramrod with our pinky. That's a safety measure that is built into this manual. This weapon is now a loaded weapon. If I were to ram this down with my whole hand over the muzzle like this, and the gun were to go off, you'd lose your entire hand. So this is a way of preventing that from happening, keeping your hand away from the muzzle of the weapon. Now I'm going to come forward here and turn to show this next step. So the next command is prime. So the soldier will bring the musket up like this, teeing your feet. The hammer goes on half cock. This hammer has 2 positions. Half cock is a safety position, and it also gives you enough room here to put the percussion cap on the ignition cone. You'll then go into your percussion cap pouch, which contains these. These are called percussion caps. It kind of looks like a little top hat. It's a little brass cap that contains a chemical substance in it called fulminate of mercury. This is your ignition source that ignites the gunpowder and subsequently fires the weapon. So you place the percussion cap on the ignition cone here, and then once that's done, you return to the position of shoulder arms. So when the soldiers come to this position, when they come to shoulder arms, the position that Mark and I are at now, that's an indication to your commanding officer that you are loaded and you are ready to fire. So every single step that we did so far, that is essential to the firing of the rifle musket, okay? So now what we will do is we will fire the weapons for you. We'll just about face. Detail, about face. Ready? Hey, fire! Shoulder, arms. About face. Okay, so that is how the weapon is fired. And now what we will do for you is we will demonstrate loading and firing the weapon in real time. So we did it for you step by step. Now, a well-trained and well-disciplined soldier could fire approximately 3 rounds per minute. So doing all those 9 steps 3 times in 1 minute, that's approximately 20 seconds per shot. So what we will do now is we will demonstrate loading and firing for you in real time without calling out the commands. Detail, load. Okay. Detail, about, face. Ready. Hey. Fire. Shoulder, arm. Detail, about, face. Okay. All right, folks, so that concludes our musket demonstration. If you guys have any questions, we're more than happy to take individual questions.
That was really fun.
If anybody has individual questions,
That was awesome.